Hi everyone, this is Astro Guidance. So today we're going to do a pick a card for what your spirit guides want you to know. So we got three piles here. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. So just pick the card that you feel most drawn to, and we're going to get started with pile number 1. So pile number 1, first up you have Tayton the Sylph. So what I'm getting from this energy is that I think that you've all been growing a lot recently, and maybe the growth has been sort of painful. You may have had to have worked through some pretty dark emotional problems, and you may have had a lot of things you've had to break free from, a lot of things you've had to grow from and grow out of. And I'm just getting the sense that maybe at one point you were trapped in all of this sort of turmoil emotionally, and you couldn't really see the way out. But I think that now it's been a tough road, and I think that now you're sort of you are in that you've transformed. Like, that stage is past now, so you're in the transformation stage. So it's either happening right now or it's already happened. And I get the sense that you're also aware of this. I think you're fully aware of this. I don't think you're necessarily, I mean, it's not that you're not happy with where you are now, but I think you've just been through a lot, so it's hard to maybe focus on being super appreciative just because it's been such a rough road. And maybe it's not that you're unappreciative, it's just that you're just I'm just getting this sense that you're sort of like still recovering from having to work through that emotional darkness and trauma and whatever you had to go through to get to this new sort of lighter phase. Yeah, next up we have the Singer of Transfiguration. And these cards pair really well together. Right here I just see this sort of these wings. I'm also being drawn to the number 11 for this card, and also the energy looks like it's being mirrored. So maybe someone was a catalyst for all of this turmoil you had to traverse to get to this sort of transformed stage. I'm hearing there could have been a lot of wounds between you and another person, a lot of hardships. This growth could be still continuing. If it is a counterpart, this could be an ongoing process. But I think you have reached a newer stage of transformation where you've sort of shot through this harder, darker space that you've been in. And because as you've done this, you have transformed spiritually. And if you are dealing with someone else, I'm hearing they have too, in their own way. I'm feeling this sort of phoenix rising from the ashes and being born new. So like I said, this could have been very hard. I think that you had to go through a lot for this spiritual transformation to happen. and I think you're fully aware of where you are now, how much you've grown and how you've changed. And your spirit guides want you to know that, don't doubt that you're not different now. You have gone through a lot of hardships and kind of come out the other side as this beautiful new spiritual energy. And I think they're recognizing that, and they're saying, they're sort of giving you accolades. They're saying you should recognize it too, and be proud of it, because you have gone through a lot and you came out stronger and just completely transformed. Yeah, and so next up we have the star, Archangel Jophiel. A dream come true, believe in yourself, the end of a difficult situation. Yeah, so I think you guys have just gone through something extremely difficult and you came out the other side. And look, isn't that funny? The wings, and the red. And look at that, she's wearing a red dress with the wings. And the two jugs, that mirroring again. So you guys have definitely just gone through something intense. But with that red and it's saying a dream come true, believe in yourself. I really feel like your guides are saying, you made it, you did it. This was for spiritual growth, but you accomplished it. You came out the other side stronger, with more spiritual knowledge. And that hard time of what you were going through is over now. And I think, they're saying you should be proud of yourself for that, for having accomplished it. And the last card we have is Sahakiel, Angel of Sky. So, yeah, with this card and with the star, I really feel like they both kind of give off that energy of transformation. I mean, all these cards do, but those two especially. And I feel like that's sort of your new energy, is just this spiritual wisdom. I mean, if you really look at this card, his head is like a crystal ball. The wheel reminds me of the Wheel of Fortune. Him being in the clouds, it just feels like this. And with all the rings, it's just, one, I think it's representing this cycle of completion. I'm getting the Wheel of Fortune. And this feeling of just spiritual growth. Like you're embodying this new divine knowing that wouldn't have been possible without these hardships you've had to go through. So I think the message your guides are leaving with you today is that this was for your spiritual growth. And yes, it might have been difficult and there might have been hard times, but this is the end result. You're through the hard times now, and now you're just this like super powerful new divine version of yourself because of everything you went through. Man, these cards keep falling down. So I think your guys are just saying they're proud of you and you did it. And you're a new spiritually evolved version of yourself now, and you should be proud of yourself. And I think it's okay to take a little break now too. the end of a difficult situation. So that's all I got for you guys for pile number 1. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can leave a like or comment or subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. So for pile number 2, your first card is Fairies of the Future. So this card, it really talks about being aware of where you're going, being aware of the decisions you're making, and how they're going to affect your future. And I'm picking up on the energy that there might be like big decisions you're having to make right now that other people may be paying attention to, or that you think they're paying attention to. There might be people trying to distract you or tell you what you should do, but you have to be careful with that, because that can be distracting you from your intuition. Yeah, I'm getting this sense that there's a lot of eyes on whatever decision you're making. And if there aren't, you might just at least think there are. But I think there are, actually. I think a lot of people are. There might be a few big influencers in your life that are completely zoned in on whatever this is for you. I'm hearing they could have expectations of what you should do, guiding your hand. There might be someone really controlling in your life. Maybe a mother or a friend or a father. I'm getting this sense that whoever these people are, or this person is, they have an expectation of where you're going to be or what you're going to do. And that might not be where you want to be. Or you might have become apathetic with other people making decisions for you, or telling you what to do. Like they're so controlling, and that doesn't, sometimes when people are controlling in your life, it's not that noticeable. It can just, once, if it's been going on for so long, it's hard for you to pick it up and realize it. But I am getting that sense that there's a strong expectation of something from you. And I'm also getting the sense that you've almost closed your eyes to your own path, or you've stopped listening to what intuitively you want to do, because you've become so imbued with these expectations of you that I feel like it's hard for you to see what it is that you want. Oh, that's fascinating. Let's see what the other cards are. The next card up is Death. I'm going to put this up here. Sorry, I got interrupted for a second, but the next card up is Death. I'm hearing blindly making decisions. Don't get worried about the word death either. It's not really what I'm getting from this card. It's funny because she's all dressed in white, and she's holding some sort of fruit, and her eyes are closed. And when I was just talking about how there's this sense of not making her own decisions, there's these other people that are pointing at where she needs to go into the future, and up here her eyes are closed as well, but everyone else's eyes are wide open if you look at that guy. And it's almost like they're telling her what to do and where to go. And it's fascinating because here this person's sort of dressed in white, and they're covered there. They can't see, and they're also holding what looks like a piece of fruit. So I don't get anything ominous here, but what I am getting is, I think your guides are telling you to try to step into your intuition more, and maybe look at I think it's like it's almost like they're trying to give you a wake-up call, like, hey, just, look at your life. Are you making decisions for yourself, or have people been trying to control your life and tell you where to go, what to do, how your life should go, and have sort of held these expectations of you that might not be what you want? Yes, I just heard really strongly, don't be blind to your decisions. That's kind of the main energy I'm getting here, what your guides want you to know. Because this is your future. It's no one else's future, it's your future. And they should be your decisions based on how you want your life to go. So, next up, we have, I'm going to put this card up here. We have Keter, the crown, spirituality. It's really fascinating that, there's no eyes here. Their eyes are shut. This person's, has something draped over their eyes. And there's these orbs here. There's this black orb there. This black orb there. Looks like I don't know if that's a piece of fruit or what, but they're all like holding this. I'm getting this is your inner knowing, your intuition. So everything I've said up till now about people making decisions for you, it can go two ways. Either there have been these people, like I said, that are sort of influencing your life so much in a very controlling manner, with these heavy expectations of you, and maybe you've become so used to that you're blind to see how these decisions they're making for you are affecting your future so heavily, because they're shaping your future for you. Now, on the flip side of that, if that's not your story, then it's the opposite, and it's that you've realized this and you're shutting your eyes and closing your eyes to anything else except your intuition. Okay? And if you haven't done that, that's your advice from your guides, is that you need to do that. You need to go within. This looks, they have their eyes closed. This looks sort of meditative. This looks, it's the crown chakra, spirituality. So this is all about listening to your intuition. So the main thing is, if you're not doing that, if you are being influenced by others, your guides are saying to go within and only be influenced by yourself and your inner knowing. And that will be your path forward. Yes, this card is really, you see these, he's in this praying position, and then above him are these white hands like glowing in the praying position as well. And it's directly in between those is this black orb, the same black orb that he's holding, and I think it's the same that she has in her hand. So I think there's two messages here. It's that, if you have had your eyes closed to your intuition and you've been listening to others and being influenced, you need to open your eyes and look at your path that you want, the way you want to move forward, and follow that. And I think the other message is the way to do that is to go within and listen to the divine. Listen to your intuition. you know, open your eyes to your own path, but close your eyes to the path that other people are trying to point you in. And yeah, that's the other big message, is just shutting your eyes to any outside noise and places that other people want you to go, and only focusing on this intuition, this inner knowing, that inner voice that's kind of nudging you in the direction that you want to go. Let's see what the last card is. Seven of Raphael. Time to make a decision. Be clear on what you want and take action. A need for detoxification. Yeah, so I think your spirit guides are saying, you know, with all, yeah, and all these like different colored little barrels, it's saying, you know, you need to, the detoxification, you need to separate yourself from the other opinions and influences that these people have had on your life, and the way that they want your life to go. You need to separate yourself from that, because if you look at this card, you know, time to make a decision, be clear on what you want, and take action. So these other little wells of color, or the little barrels, that's everyone else's energy. That's their opinions. You know, that's how that's the way they want your life to go, or the way they want you to make this big decision, or these big decisions. But then if you look close, the main well, that's you. And that's the biggest one. That's where the real prosperity lies, is making the decision from yourself, like from yourself for yourself, listening to your intuition and the path that you want to go on, and using that to make your decisions. So that's what your spirit guides want you to know. That's a really, really cool pile. Yeah, so if you enjoyed that, you can leave a like or a comment or subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon. And thanks for watching. So if you picked pile number 3, the first card you have up is the Fawn. Okay. I'm getting wealth of knowledge. Very connected to the divine right now. Very spiritually awake. Yeah, I'm getting this sense of listening to and being well connected to Source right now, and letting divine wisdom flow through you. Third eye opening. Maybe you guys are awakening to spiritual gifts. If not, you're just very in tune with Source right now. Some of you guys could actually be channels. I'm being drawn to that bottom light. I really feel like the throat chakra opening, and like the divine channeling wisdom through that. Let's see what your other cards are. So next up we have List of the Shadows. 44. I'm getting this sense that something's growing at this really rapid pace, like, and I think for a lot of you it's actually spiritual gifts. Like with this card, I'm getting that sort of sense, like, you know, in the movies where that sometimes like they get shot through like a wormhole or something in space, and they see all these crazy colors, and it looks like they're going through a tube, and then they get shot out the other side, and it's just like this crazy new world. That's sort of the sense I'm getting right now. That's the feeling I'm getting. And I think you guys are well aware it's happening, actually. Yeah, I just heard the darkness can't contain me any longer. I'm really getting this sense that spiritual gifts are being grown. Maybe the life you're living right now or the reality you're in isn't where you want to be. Like with the recognition of these gifts and you understanding that this growth is happening, you're realizing that the current world you're in and how your life is right now can't really even, where you're going, the places you're going with your spiritual gifts, I think you're starting to recognize that where you can go with them at the rapid rate that they're growing, and you're realizing the world that you've built for yourself is too small for that. And so I think you're trying to kind of push your way out and create this new beautiful reality for yourself with your spiritual gifts. Yeah, it's like wherever you are right now, like it can't contain all these, like these new divine gifts that are being grown right now. And I think you realize that, and it's like you're trying to just push yourself out of where you're at right now, because you know that it's like you know that a greater reality is awaiting you on the other side, and that this one that you're in right now, the life you're living right now, there might not be anything wrong with it, but it's not where you need to get to. And your light is just sort of trying to push through wherever you're at right now to get to the other side of this new, beautiful life that you know you're supposed to be living. And I think it heavily involves whatever spiritual gifts you have or whatever spiritual gifts you're growing right now. So let's get the next card. So you guys actually had 2 Angelarium cards come up, and I didn't even realize that. But the first one is Netza, Endurance, and the second one is Bina, Knowledge. So I'm getting a couple different things with this. With the Endurance card, I'm feeling like maybe where you're currently at, not only are you wanting to break free because of, the new spiritual path you can see yourself on, but I think where you're at might be it might be difficult as well. And, that might be the other reason you're trying to get out, is that you just feel like you're being crushed by your current reality. I mean, in this card, it's like he's being crushed by this whole place that, it doesn't even look like it's like a separate reality. So he's being crushed by this reality that isn't his, and at the same time it's like he feels like he's being drowned as well, and it looks like these branches are pulling him down, and he's just, half of his body is being wasted away. So maybe you feel like where you're at right now in your current situation is sort of wearing you down, and that might be an understatement. It may feel like it's just slowly, like, picking you apart. And I think what your spirit guides want you to know is the reason that's happening is because, the reason you're feeling that way is because you're right, and that's not the reality for you. That's not your higher purpose. And that's why it feels like it's just destroying you. The other thing I'm getting with the right card is I think that despite, having, feeling this way, you're still managing to focus on the divine wisdom you're bringing in, and the new gifts that you're cultivating. And I think your guides are commending you for that, but they're also saying, they're like that's you're on the right path. That's what you should be doing. And I think they're saying this won't last forever. Yeah, I keep hearing focus on your spiritual gifts. If your attention isn't there, that's what your guides are saying, is to bring your attention to it. And that cultivating it despite these hardships you're enduring right now is what they're asking of you. And they know that that you've gone through a rough time, and that you feel like everything's just sort of caving in on you. But I think they're trying to tell you that these intuitive hits that you've had, and this feeling and this vision you have for this better life following these spiritual gifts you have, you're right. And to keep focusing on that. And remember, spiritual gifts doesn't have to mean stuff like channeling or things like that. They can mean that, but they can also mean anything that feels like you're working with your soul. I'm just getting this sense that it's like a lot of despair surrounding you right now, and all you really have is this little bit of divine light, and that's what you're trying to focus on. It's like your little bit of hope. It's like your guiding light. And I think that your guides are saying, yeah, that's, focus on that. Like, that is the divine trying to steer you in the right direction. And that new reality that you see for yourself is real. Like, that can be just as real as whatever you're stuck in right now, where you feel like you don't want to be, and that it's really hard. Yeah, I think your guides are just sending a message of support and acknowledgement that they know that you're going through a rough time. Like, the physical reality that you're in, you might not want to be there and be dealing with what you have to deal with. Sorry guys, my phone died. But back to what I was saying, I think your guides they are asking, despite these hardships, to keep focusing on your spirituality, and that is the path forward. You're right in believing that. Your intuition is correct in that. And to have faith. And that the reality that you're in right now that you might not like isn't always going to be your reality, and that when you keep following this spiritual path and trying to grow these spiritual gifts that you have, you're going to move out of it rapidly. Going back to this card especially. So let's see what your last card is. The Archangel Guidance. We have Perspective. Archangel Chamuel. There's a better way. Pause for reflection and insight. Dare to be different. Yeah, so I think this is again saying, you have this vision of this new life that you want that might involve tapping into your divine gifts, and that might be very intimidating, and it might feel like you have to flip your world upside down to do this, to make this work. But that is the way forward into the better life that you want. If you feel like you're not meant to be living the way that you are, and that you have this other idea of the way life should be going by utilizing these spiritual gifts you have, however they may manifest, you're right. That's what your guides are telling you today. And, it's funny. It's like, look at that. Like, him reaching for this new dream, kind of surrounded by darkness, but he's actually glowing, if you can see that his outline there. And he has wings. And look at this card. It's like the same thing. Yo, it's really standing out with this card to me is dare to be different. I think your guides are saying there is that better life for you. You just need to listen to your intuition and follow it, and which it feels like you guys are doing despite all these, these hardships you're enduring, and to utilize these spiritual gifts that are coming in, because that's going, that different mindset and approach to your life are going to manifest this new beautiful reality that you want. So that's going to wrap up pile number 3. Thank you guys for watching. If you want, you can leave a like or comment or subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.